Good to have a seat, Bruce. Hey guys, I'm Dane Harden with Western Masters Martial Arts here in Abingdon, Virginia. We've been, in our last video, we introduced this idea of the basic 5 kickboxing techniques that you really need to think about mastering. Owning the center line, body manipulation of body movement, weapon first principle, broken timing, broken rhythm. We also talked about lateral off steps, left foot, right foot. If you're moving left, use your left foot. Moving right, use your right foot. Forward and back, what we call opening and closing the door. So in kickboxing, these principles are really important. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to take those same 5 techniques and the structures you can make kind of a more fun game out of this. We'll look at the first 5, and then we're going to start to add in a few things. Now, Bruce has a background in Kung Fu. He's done some karate. He's a Nidan candidate in Aikido, so he's got a pretty good percussion skill set. Bruce has been training with me for 10 years now, I think. Awesome. Go ahead and stand up. So if I'm using the mitts, I now assume the role of coach. As a coach, it is not my job to hurt you. But as a coach, it's my job to help you improve, make you better today, make you better tomorrow than the person that you are today. Yeah, that's right. O-sensei used to talk about that. O-sensei had a saying where he said, there is no one, irregardless of age, who can't improve upon the person that they are now. Okay? So Bruno's in his fighting posture. I don't care, Bruce, wherever you want to do. All right, so on this first, we're going to work a jab. So if I just simply hold this up as a target, he releases the trigger. Go ahead. Okay, good. What I want to do is try to activate some of the white muscle fibers and some of the receptor sites within the muscle tissue itself. So now if I'm going to be a more helpful coach, what I'm going to do is impact just a little bit. So when he's throwing that jab, boom, 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 boom. I want to turn my body into it just a little bit. That's going to tighten up the pectoral muscles, the deltoid muscles, and all those microfibers within the muscle tissue start to understand what it feels like to actually hit something. If you spend 50 years doing martial arts and all you've ever done is throw kicks in the air and punches in the air, the first time you hit a big solid dude, the entire psychology of this fight is going to go away, right? I remember years ago I was at a karate tournament and this guy was probably 340 pounds. It was Battle of Atlanta. I was in the heavyweight division, and unfortunately the heavyweight division stopped back then at about 185, 190 pounds, and it went up. And I threw a punch and I hit this guy and it felt like I just hit a bull. And I knew in my heart of hearts and in my head that wouldn't have done a thing to this guy in the street. So we have to understand, how do I try to get power to impact and go into my opponent? Sometimes time on target is where you transfer energy into the striking surface. So when he's doing that jab, I like to transfer the energy. Jab, boom. That little transfer of energy starts to teach Bruce what it feels like when something actually, when you hit it and you feel the energy and the weight of it, the mass of it coming back. Technique number 2 in our basic 5 is going to be jab, cross. All right, so again, if I'm just holding up targets, jab, cross. I like to cover my target. Now, of course, if it's a white belt, and they're going to throw a punch, it may not be as controlled. So instructors, coaches, be a little leery, right? I trust Bruce isn't going to hit me, all right? So now if I start to add in some resistance on this, he's going to go with the jab, boom, cross. Now we're starting to get some impact, right? Now he's starting to understand what it's supposed to feel like. Next technique, technique 3. Technique 1 was jab. Technique 2, jab, cross. Technique 3, we'll go slow. Jab, cross, hook punch. Okay, lots of things we can do to improve on that hook punch, but that's all right. Jab, cross, hook, boom. I have a strong boxing background, and I understand karate guys punch differently than boxers do. One of the reasons for that, and you hear this as a criticism, it's not a criticism. In martial arts and classical karate, you hear this saying, Ichigo Ichiai. Ichigo Ichiai. One encounter, one chance. So when you see a karate guy trying to just go for backbone and kidneys, right, to drill all the way through to his spine, it's because of the concept was they want to hit someone once, and that's it. It's killing strikes, really. How possible is that? Not likely, right? So the boxers in the crowd who understand repetitive strikes and how to move kind of start to have an advantage on the classically trained karate guys, right? The karate guys have an advantage because they do what? They can kick. We also use elbow strikes. I love elbow strikes. These things work wonderfully, but that's a different lesson. All right, so Bruce has got his hands up. We're gonna give just a little resistance. Jab, cross, hook. Get a little better. Jab, cross, hook. Get a little better. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. And I'm kind of stationary, right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, what if I shift? 1, 2, 3. What if I shift? 1, 2, 3. What if I shift? 1, 2, 3. Now when I bring my hands down, this puts me in this position that he knows, I hope, that he's not supposed to strike further. Okay? Let's now move on, Mark, to technique number 4. So technique number 4 is going to be front leg snap kick, reverse punch. So Bruno's in his fighting posture. So in this position, in karate, you know, we talk about open book, closed book. Aikido, what is this called, Bruce?
Story.
So he and I are now Gyaku Hanmi versus Ai Hanmi. And what he was talking about, Shitoi Hanmi, or is it skinny? And I appreciate that as a compliment. Shitoimi, I'm far from Shitoimi. All right, so we've got our hands up. He's in a fighting posture. The front leg snap kick, I'm now low. Notice where I'm holding. Instructors, you can do this. Bruce, go ahead. The problem with high kicks is a lot of times the students will kick their balance back. They'll come up on their toes to gain a couple inches of height. They remove some of their foundation. Their kick becomes unstable. I can go on. I don't like much of that. My most effective kicks are going to be solar plexus level and down. I can kick to the head, but I'm no Bill Superfoot Wallace, right? Bill likes kicking you in the head. Well, hell, he throws 90-mile-an-hour kicks, and he can kick you in the head at will, right? My kicks are probably more like 65 miles an hour or 70. I'm not as fast as Bill. So I like to think, well, what's practical for an old, retired colonel flight surgeon who may need to use these skill sets? Practical is the edge of the elbow creates my limit zone because you don't want to get an elbow on the inside aspect of your shin. So he's in this position, snap kick front leg, pretty good. Snap kick front leg, pretty good. Now if I switch over, snap kick front leg, pretty good. So now we're kind of working around and he's getting used to throwing kicks at something that's changing in position constantly. Now if you throw a snap kick front leg, cross. Pretty good. Snap kick, cross. Pretty good. Now snap kick, boom, boom. Now we start getting some impact. Go. Good. 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 Okay. So now we're starting to build up some strength in the technique. Now let's work on technique 5. Jab, snap kick, reverse punch. Bruno's got his hands up. So when Bruce throws his jab, snap kick, reverse punch. Jab, snap kick, reverse punch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we add some power. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. 1, 2, 3. Good. I move. 1, 2, 3. Good. I move. 1, 2, 3. Good. I move. 1, 2, 3. Good. You start to see it starts to become fluid, yeah? More fun, a more realistic training drill. Bruce back over here. Now we're going to add in the fun stuff. Bruce has got his fighting stance. Got his hands up. He's going to throw a jab. Duck. Oh, he didn't duck. Didn't even see that coming, right? Where was his focus? Completely on the mitt and on the target. Joe one time during a kickboxing session says, Harden, if you get caught watching the TV in your head, you're going to get hit. Were you thinking about the technique?
I was just thinking about the jab and the mitt.
Just the jab and the mitt. Okay. Try to take in everything. So now we throw the jab. Much better. Much better. When we duck, Bruce is going to throw a jab. Now bend forward at your waist like you're bowing. That's incorrect, okay? Because while he's bowing, yeah, he's getting out of the trajectory of that punch, but what's he bringing himself into? A kick, right? So what I want you guys to think about is when he throws jab, he sits down in a chair and then he brings himself back up. And notice when Bruce is doing this, he's going boom, and he's shifting, and as he shifts, he's alternating position. All right? He's trained from somebody who's had some boxing skills. That's pretty good, Bruce. All right, jab, duck. Yeah, okay, number 2, jab, cross. Boom, boom, duck. Good. Jab, cross, hook, duck. Yeah, snap kick. Cross, 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 duck. Now all of a sudden I can start to call stuff out and it forces him to react, right? If we want to add a third level to this, jab, cross, kick, duck, react. Now notice his natural reaction was to do this, to reach down. That's a classically trained martial arts guy, right? Bruce throws snap kick at me. What am I doing? If he's throwing snap kick, am I doing this? So when I do that, it creates a huge opening. I like to, any kick you want to throw, go ahead and throw it. And stop. Have your shins taken a hit?
Oh yeah.
How many?
Several.
Several. I like to use my elbows most of the time. I will sometimes, if I see a kick that allows me to trap, you will see this movement. Why that's a trap is because I can come to the outside, catch a leg and throw somebody, okay? So if we go very slow on this exercise, and instructors, this is fun to do with the kids too. Jab, duck, kick, duck, jab, cross, good, duck, jab, cross, duck, kick, duck, good, jab, cross, duck, that's it, jab, cross, duck, kick, duck, good, jab, cross, 1, 2, kick, good, good. Ah, so now I start speeding it up. So now you ducked when you should have either slipped or evaded rear or filled the space. Feet together. Bruce, go and have a seat. So that's taking those basic 5, utilizing training mitts. When I'm doing my training mitts, this is my neutral stance position. When I want a jab, I call for jab. Jab. The target's only out there for just a few seconds. Target acquisition. If I go here, and that student's hitting that target, then I know they're dialed in, right? The target only presents itself for a short amount of time. Distance, space, timing. Aikido. Distance, space, timing. Kickboxing. Distance, space, timing. According to Rickson Gracie, in his new book, Breathe, and if you haven't read it, you should, it's excellent. Distance, timing, spacing, rhythm, all of the things that we talk about are talked about in every other martial version. I'm Dane Harden with Western Masters Martial Arts right here in Abingdon, Virginia. Hope you guys had a good time. Bruce, go ahead and stand up. You good? Escape. Have a good day, guys. Thanks.